school for all of you. The truth is, you took it a day at a time, and you moved on a day at a time, a week at a time, a month at a time, and now you're 12 years down the line. Whatever your plans are, aim high, leave the Lord in the center, prepare well, and accomplish what you set out to do day to day. And I want to add one thing here that I think most people can agree with. You will run across people throughout your life that will discourage you in accomplishing what you've set out to do, more so than you will people that will take your hand and encourage you and say, what can I do to help? And I just want to give a few little illustrations here that help in your preparation of people that we're familiar with in history. Napoleon went to school and studied in a small class, and he graduated 42nd in his class, which was down low. But nobody knows anything about the 41 that graduated before him. He went out, set his goal, and accomplished. Sir Isaac Newton was next to lowest in his class. He failed geometry because he didn't do the problems according to the book. Failed it. Failed it. And I love this one. Their 16-year-old boy came home with a note pinned to his shirt. On the note it said, "We would advise that this boy be taken out of school," and they underlined this, "because he was too stupid to learn." His name was Thomas Edison. And this one we may be a little more familiar with. There was a boy who decided that his first year at college that he didn't quite fit the college he was in, and he didn't like some of the rules, and it got a little difficult, and it was hard to study, so he decided he was going to transfer to another college that he felt he would fit into better. So the president of the school told him, called him into his office, he said, "I'm telling you, if you leave here, you will never amount to anything." But you know what? I watched him on TV last week, and his name was Billy Graham. And he went out, set his sights, did what he had to do to prepare himself to meet his goals. So keep on running. Don't look at life as though it's a haze. Make some short-term goals, make some long-term goals, and set out day by day to accomplish those things. Leave the Lord in the middle of it. And the very last thing I like about this verse in Hebrews 12 is the future. It says, "Run with endurance the race that is set before you." And the word "set before you" means marked out. And it's the whole idea that God knows who you are by name, personally. He knows what your gifts are spiritually. He knows what your abilities are. And He has marked out a life that will fit you perfectly. And if you will continue to follow Him, He will take you through. There's one thing I like about that, though. The writer that wrote that, "Run the race with endurance," knew that it wouldn't be easy. And the word "race," which is dealing with life here, the word "race" in the original is a gon, and we get our English word agony from it. Things in life aren't always easy, but you will have somebody with you that will never change, and that's Jesus Christ. And He loves and cares for you more than anybody else in this world. And He will do everything in your behalf to take you through this life, and you can walk with Him, and you can fellowship with Him, and you can grow to know who He is. And so whatever your plans are, college, military, marriage, whatever it is, make sure that Jesus Christ is uppermost. The last part of the verse says, "Let us fix our eyes on Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith." And the word "fix" is a word that means to look away. When things get tough and the pressures get tough, look away into Christ, because He's there and He has your interest in His behalf. So as in your behalf, so as you're running, you keep your eye on Jesus Christ, because He's the goal of your life. I ran track years ago in college, and there was a black fellow about this tall named Jimmy Saunders, one of the fastest fellas I ever saw in my life. I never saw him lose in the 100-yard dash or the 220 except one time. And we always got down at the end of the 100-yard tape so we could see how far away he had pulled from the other fellas. And this one time he was running and it looked like he tripped, and the fella that was just right behind him passed him right at the tape. And we thought he'd trip, and we told him we were really sorry that happened because we knew he'd had a perfect record up to that point. Jimmy said, I didn't trip. He said, I did something I knew I shouldn't do. He said, I knew I could hear this fellow's footsteps right beside me. And he said, as I always kept my eyes on the tape because that was the finish, and that was my goal, and that's where I was moving. But I heard these footsteps coming up, and as the tape was coming closer, I took one quick glance over here and to see where he was, and when I took my eyes off my goal, which was the tape, and when I looked back, I looked for the tape and I saw a white chalk line on the track, and I thought it was the tape. And I lunged, because at the end he always lunged into the tape. He said, I saw the white line, I thought it was the tape, I lunged, and as I lunged he went right by me and won the race. And he said, I took my eyes off the goal. And the last thing that I would say to you before you graduate here is this: Jesus Christ needs to be the goal of your life. You can plan your life, you can study and prepare and do what you want, but make sure that Jesus Christ is the goal of your life, and that not only day to day, but the goal of the end of your life, because the promise of Christ is that those that love Him and that know Him as their Savior, Lord, will see Him face to face at the end of the race that we're all running. Thank you very much.